John is the Azera. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I have Azera and Sonata.
Your product manager?
Part-time manager.
All right, so with that, we'll get started.
Thank you, Lori.
Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. So there you can see that's the correct spelling of my name. And I apologize for the frog-sounding voice I have this morning. Lori asked me, she said, "Did you go out last night?" And I told her, "No, Lori, I didn't." So just ahead of time, I apologize for my voice sounding a little bit raspy today. So, yeah, sure. Just let me know if I'm blocking the screen.
No, that's good.
But that's what you told Lori, huh?
Yes, that's at least what I told Lori. That's the story. That's the official story. So I'm going to first give you basically a recap of 2011 performance, and this is, I promise you, the last time you hear about 2011 performance. And I'm going to get into a key initiative that we have in place for 2012, and then we'll get into specific details on the significant and enhanced 2013 Genesis Coupe, and then I'll hand it off to John to talk about the all-new 2012 Azera. So 2011 was really a key bounce-back year for the industry. Total sales were up by 10%, and more importantly, retail sales were up by 13%. And in terms of Hyundai, we had an all-time sales high of 645,000 units, which really represented a 20% total sales increase, and more importantly for us, a 29% increase on the retail side as we further reduce our fleet mix of sales.
The 20% is from the 2010
Yeah,
figures?
it's up from 2010, that's correct. So when we look at actually February 2012, the industry was up by 16%. Hyundai actually exceeded the industry with total sales up by 18% and retail sales up by 29%, so pretty impressive. And actually, in this past month of February, that was our all-time February high sales month with over 51,000 units of sales. So we're continuing that growth, and as an industry, things are turning around, which is good for all of us. Now, this next slide really talks about the Beatles and the fact that they weren't an overnight sensation. Now, we're not trying to compare ourselves with the Beatles, but if you guys read the Malcolm Gladwell book called Outliers, it really talked about how the Beatles really spent a lot of time and hard work from 1964 in Hamburg, Germany, performing over 1,200 concerts to really hone their sound and perfect their craft. Now, like I said, we're not trying to compare ourselves, but we also are not an overnight sensation. The journey that we've been on started 25 years ago, back in 1986, where we only had 1.1% share of the overall marketplace, to where we are last year at 5.1%. So that's roughly a little bit over 0.1% average share increase per year. So it's been a long journey in terms of all the hard work and investment we've made to create outstanding products to get where we are today, which is the 6th best-selling retail brand in the industry, and we've held that position for the last 2 years. So when we look at sales in terms of best-selling cars and focus on the cars, as Hyundai is predominantly a car company still, when we look at retail sales in 2011, 2 of our vehicles were in the top 10 in terms of retail sales. It's the Sonata at number 4 and the Elantra at number 8. And when you look at shopper count data as provided by Compete, you can see that this reflects also the shopper count data, which shows that the Sonata is in position number 4 and the Elantra in position number 7. So these are very closely tied together. So we have 2 vehicles in the top 10. Now we're really in the process, so we're starting the process of transforming from a value brand to a valuable brand. And we can see that we've made some inroads in that regard. Now, this is a pretty cool slide because it's called pricing power. So it measures really how much consumers are willing to pay versus the actual MSRP of the vehicle. So as we can see, in the past 2 years, Hyundai has increased significantly, moving just behind Toyota. And Toyota has done a really great job. They've actually, even in their tough times, they've actually been able to have customers pay a price that's very similar to the actual MSRP. So this also showcases just really how impressive our move up has been, and we've actually surpassed Honda in this regard. Now, this also shows the fact that even with our rising transaction prices that have gone up by 14% over the past 2 years, that our perception of value has actually maintained itself. And really, it's in terms of delivering strong product execution with great design, great features, and a great price point. So that's reflected in this particular slide. And only 18% of cars sold in 2011 had a traditional rebate. So that's pretty significant. And at $1,005 average per vehicle of incentive spend, Hyundai was the lowest in the industry. So actually, when you look at this slide, the only other comparable brand was Subaru at just $1,020. And as you can see, some of our competitors spent pretty significantly in order to achieve their sales goals.